Do it. It's alive. It's alive. Welcome to the Church of Mabus radio show. It's Friday night, 7:09 p.m. Central. Let me get these plug things out of the way I need to do because I always forget it. Ozark Mountain UFO Conference, April 8th through the 10th, 2022. Best Western end of the Ozarks, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Just a bunch of people talking about UFOs. So check it out. Next, go to UFO Paranormal Radio, UFO Paranormal Radio, our YouTube channel. Go to UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials, our YouTube channel. You can find us on UPRN, Twitch, and Twitter, iTunes, SoundCloud, and iHeart. So there's the plugs. Tonight's guest, Patrick O'Leary, author of 51. It's Jay's with us tonight. It's great to have you both here.
Okay. Nice to meet you both, Jay. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And Jeffrey, pleasure to have you here with me.
Good to meet you. Yeah. And we met you through Joe's Lansdale's daughter, is the publicist that somehow got a hold of your publicist, and here we are. So hey, that's some good kismet.
That's
some good
I'm grateful for that.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we were talking about Russia and Ukraine before the break, and we were just making some points. First off, it's terrifying, no matter which way you look at it. Patrick was saying he saw a tank running over a civilian car. That's insane. I try to get into the headspace of the civilians, like what's going to happen to them and all that. It's just a lot to take in psychologically, for sure.
Yeah, it's the first big war like this that we've had. I mean, we've had wars all the time, let's be honest, but it's the first mad sign of pure aggression that we've seen in a while, and it's scary than heck. Because these are peaceful country, and its population would be like 15% of Russia or something if they counted it. And they're not asking for any of this. None of them wanted this. Poland said they'll take any Ukrainians they want. They can exit the border. But somewhere along the line, somebody's got to stop it. You know, he won't stop with the two districts that he says he's bringing peacekeepers in. He's not going to stop with any of that. Now, I'm the last person in the world to talk about war or to say, yeah, let's rattle the drums. Let's get this guy. And it's terrifying, man. I was almost drafted into Vietnam. I had friends who went and learned combat and who didn't come back. And I know it's not a game.
It's definitely not. And I've been keeping up with some of the media about it from both sides. And some of the disturbing things that I've seen is like they're actually like trying to paint Putin into like a hero that's conquering deep state in Ukraine. And it's like they're almost for him. Like I haven't seen one right-wing kind of kooky person put a video out that said Trump, Putin, and the Z dude that runs China or whatever, that they're allies, that they're all pretty much allies in this. And that's from a right-wing personality that loves Trumpelgooch. So it's just weird. It's like the Twilight Zone. But there was one weird, goofy coast-to-coast thing. It may have been on Coast to Coast or something. But if you look up Putin, Antichrist, alien invasion, there's some prophet going nuts about all that stuff, saying that there's like going to be an alien invasion, a fake alien invasion, and Putin's the Antichrist. You want to get real crazy. But he does remind me of like a James Bond villain. Like he's definitely villainous. I mean, he's like
been that way for his entire reign. I mean, I just learned, Putin got into power after the Soviet Union collapsed, and they went through a couple of premiers, and Gorbachev and Yeltsin, I think, was the last one, and then finally, it was so chaotic, that country, that the only people who could get the roads clear and the groceries delivered were the mafia. Russia got together, the leaders of the global mafia in Russia, gigantic oligarchs that have more money than you can even imagine. They got together and put a front man on Putin and said, "There, you run it. We'll run things in the background. And you just take care of government." And that's what he's done. It's a front. It's an oil company with an army and a board of directors of gangsters. That's what Russia is.
Yeah, and they described Putin's career because he was in he was in the army, he was in the KGB. Yeah. He was director of the KGB at one point, I think. Yeah. But he's been a bully his entire career.
He is not our friend. He's not anybody's friend. He's killed so many people. If people don't know that, they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Not our friend.
And then it seems like he's allies with China, right? I mean, they seem like they want to do this to Taiwan. Maybe they're going to do it next. They both kind of seem like they're tag teaming.
Well, I don't know enough. Who am I to speak about this? But China is so much of a bigger concern than Russia. I mean, they're so richer than Russia, right? They're richer than anybody. They make us.
It's the largest country on the planet. I mean,
I think they'll say fight it out, and we'll take the scraps afterwards. China's in its own world, you know. I don't know. It's crazy times we're living in, and no wonder people believe strange things.
Well, definitely. The weirdest of it is that 50, 60 years ago, we were friends with Russia and China. We protected China in World War II. Russia protected the back door of Hitler's Europe until he had attacked them, and then they switched to our side. So it's just mind-boggling how fast these people turn from friend to enemy. It's gross. And then the thing you talk about Ukraine is that they don't have the weapons that Russia has to throw against. So who's going to step in to help them? It's got to be us. It's going to be NATO. It's going to have to
and us. People that are going to have to. Somebody's going to have to draw that line there. But because if you help, once you see the tanks running in front of the mall, you're saying, "Wait a second, what's wrong here?" Gonna live. Just leave him be, and he's not going to unless somebody stops him. That's what we've learned from history. I think.
Yeah, he won't stop because the two areas that he wants is on I believe it's on the eastern side of the country.
Right.
But the country overall, they're like number 4 in like uranium ores. Worldwide, they're like number 5 or 6 in magnesium. Yeah. So all of the things that Russia needs to make bombs are in Ukraine.
Yeah, and it's a great way to make your economy grow. Take over a population that's 15% of your country. Just say, hey, now we get their economy, right? We'll just scrape it off. It's total brutal, guy. It's there's nothing good about it, and it's sickening to watch.
It's not going to be good.
No, it's not. And I just talked to my granddaughter. I have children. I got grandkids. Imagine the world that we're giving them, man. We went without real big major war for 50 years or so. I know that's very privileged. That's very American. Say, oh yeah, there were people in Pakistan know that it's been crazy for decades, But man, to leave our children, I thought we could do something that would stop this stuff. And we have to. I mean, we have to, because if we don't work together, this planet's going to come to tubes,
We need the Star Trek technology. Gene Roddenberry, wrote Star Trek in 1965, and it's been a legacy till today. But it was a utopian society that he wrote about. That there was money wasn't a thing. You could do whatever. Hunger wasn't a thing. Racism wasn't a thing. The only time they had conflict was when they hit an alien culture. So there's conflict, but it wasn't World War III type conflict, which is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough to speak about it other than it's really disturbing, and we gotta find a way to work with everybody to make it go away, because this is not a little thing.
Well, one last thing on it, and then we'll get to your book. Well, the biggest problem with this is if you do anything, nuclear annihilation. I mean, that seems like the outcome, no matter what you try to do to them. They're already saying they may cyber attack us because of the sanctions and stuff.
Dude, they've been cyber attacking us for years.
For a while. So they've caught them down there messing with that line in the ocean they can snip. That would really mess us up. It's just apocalypse.
Yeah, there are bad actors in the world, and you can cover your eyes and say, well, as long as they're beating up my neighbors, I don't care. As long as it's just my neighbor's house that's on fire, we don't have to care. It's scary, man.
It is definitely scary. Well, Patrick, your book, 51, an excellent book. One thing that's very fascinating is the alien aspects, even though there's many different levels to that in the book. But here's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
You're on a show that is pretty much not the only subject we do is UFOs. We have guests on that are like, we have nuclear physicists and stuff, and we have like military, like authors, and seriously discuss the subject of UFOs.
Yeah.
So is that a subject that you've been interested in? And
Totally.
I know, what was the process of you getting into that with that kind of subject matter?
Well, I've been a huge and enormous UFO fan for many, many years, and I've had various theories, and I've had various experiences, and I've done lots of study. I probably studied it too much. I'm probably like you guys at a certain point. They're saying, why don't you do a baseball book every once in a while, or watch a game and not talk about the aliens? But no, I'm relatively obsessed with it, and I thought 51 was an opportunity to take all the stuff that I'd learned, all the people I'd talked to, all the articles I'd read, and the films I've seen, and the special, I won't say special access, because I think if I really told you what the access was, we'd have a black screen would come up. I'm teasing. But and I try to make a consistent explanation for all the things we've heard from Area 51, whether it's the testing, whether it's the creatures, whether it's the space crafts that they're worked on. Area 51 has been around for 50 years. It's almost like an American institution. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if somebody actually figured it out and told the what was a cover up and what was a conspiracy? And finally, we see that tape and we hear that video and we talk to people. So Area 51 is a collection of the eyewitnesses, everybody who experienced what's in the base, what's being had, what sort of technology is going on, what does it mean for military, all those things. And I tried to make it a thrilling story that would explain it. And each of the characters go on a journey and through this incredibly strange realm of 51. And that's where it started.
I saw one review on Amazon said Men in Black on acid.
Yes, I love the reactions it's getting. It's very fun to hear people, especially after waiting like 20 years. I've been writing a book for 16 years. And it got published, and now I get to hear them say, well, it sounds like Yellow Submarine. I love Yellow Submarine on acid. It's my favorite quote about the 51 was that, and I'm kind of laughing because it's a fun book too. It's serious, but there's fun things in there. It's my favorite thing is that it doesn't make any sense on the outside. Once you're in it, it makes sense. You look at the book, everybody thinks, oh, I know what that book's about. There's a guy in a uniform. And there's this weird creature, and oh yeah, I know what that's about. And I love the process that when you get into the secret, it is nothing like you've ever heard in your life. That's my favorite part.
And then the level of reviews, like Kirkus and Publishers Weekly, was that a new thing for you to get those big kind of reviews from different places?
Well, I've gotten reviews from them for all my books. I've had it's my fourth novel, and I've been publishing since 1995. So I was very gratified to hear Gary Wolf and Locus or Publishers Weekly. I haven't heard the Publishers Weekly yet, I don't think. Or maybe I have. Library Journal like that and had a good thing. So yeah, that's gratifying as hell. The people who like these kind of books, who come from the generation of Star Trek or more likely Twilight Zone, my generation. And I love Star Trek too, but that's what takes them.
How long did it take you to write this book?
16 years.
Oh, I thought that's what he said.
Yeah,
I understand that. I do. I have some books on Amazon, and a lot of them are archives from shows, like typed out. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest pain in the butt ever, to listen to stuff and have to type it. I hate it. Yeah. Never do it again. But I have these books, but it's been a while since I've done another. It's like I'm in a rut. I'm trying to get into that frame of mind, but it's hard. There's like forces. There's resistance. There's something that tries to get you.
You know what would make it easier, and it goes back to Star Trek, is there's an episode called Assignment Earth, which was supposed to be a spin-off TV show with this character Gary Seven, but the secretary had a typewriter that you could talk to. You just say blah, 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 and it types out what you say. That the physical typing is, and I've tried to write a book too. It's a pain in the butt, more in the wrists and fingers. But if we had, and we're not that far away because we can talk to our phones and it can translate that to text. Why don't
have some
there should
like
be a computer we can talk to and go, hey, here's my book, blah, 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 and you just dictate it to the computer and boom. I think that would cancel all kinds of writer's block and I don't have the time. BS, now you do.
There's a lot of writers using that sort of dictation software. I use it on smaller things. Sometimes when I just have a thought, I just want to get it down, I'll dictate it, and it's such a terrible stuff.
There's Dragon Speak or something I've heard. There's different ones. They may not be the greatest thing. I don't know, but there are some things.
it's harder for me to write than to just dictate, because it takes me a long time to write a good sentence. I'm being very honest. Some people just, oh yeah, well, he went down there, blah, blah, blah. And I have to rewrite it because I write the worst sentences in the world. The second time I write them, they get a little better, and the third time they get a little better, and the fourth time, that sort of thing. I cannot equip to say after that I've improvised a novel. I can't.
I find it easier. I dictated my senior year the big paper they make you write for your last year of English. I dictated it to my mom, who typed it out, and I found it easier because I wasn't having to concentrate on the keys, and I wasn't having to concentrate on spelling.
Right.
So there's two extra things I'm not doing. I'm not typing and looking at what I'm doing and thinking about what I'm writing. So we did the whole thing in 150, 200 pages of research on special effects of all things within 4 or 5 hours. So it was quick.
Amazing. It's cool. Yeah, that's useful sometimes. It's just to me to switch to dictation after years of typing, it would be like taking away a paintbrush from me, or a pencil.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got this nice digital pen. It's perfect. I wouldn't know where to begin. I really wouldn't. But that's everybody assumes books are all the same. They are delivered the same way, and they look the same relatively, and they think they're all made the same way. They're totally different. Every writer I've ever met has a total different way of writing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mine is I have the imagination and I can spell, but punctuation for some reason I missed the train on that. It's like my memory just can't do it. So I forget that stuff so easy. It's just rough.
I was listening. I was heartened today. I was listening to a really cool interview with Margaret Atwood, of all people. Speaking of great writers of science fiction books, even if you just want to call them that. She said that she's been looking for years to find a way to dictate instead of type, because she, like me, I have to type every letter. I have sight type. I almost never type like other people do. I've worked with other people do that. I have to look at the keys. And you're right, it's slower, but that's the way the pudding is made, I guess.
Definitely. And so when it comes to the UFO subject, one of the main reasons I do this show is because I've had experiences myself. And just to give you the condensed version, at 17, I had testicular cancer. I had to go through chemo. And a year or so later, or 2 years, my dad died. So I had a lot of crap happen at a young age at one time, and started to have experiences where I saw weird things in the sky with friends, seen some strange beings, even beings of light. I've seen those many times, and there's just been strange experiences. So it led me to doing this show to, figure out what it was all about. And of course, you never figure that out. But you can get, you learn a lot from different people. But I'm kind of curious, what were some of your experiences? You had UFO experiences, seeing stuff?
Well, I've promised Terry Gross that I would only tell her my 2 UFO experiences. But yes, I've had 2 UFO experiences. I'm not at liberty to tell them to you, other than I've seen some weird shit and in the sky, and some of it was really scary, and and I'm just exactly like everybody else. Strange lights, strange noises, whatever. And every time I've investigated UFOs, I get the blip, and it's almost explained, and you're almost saying, as you well know, there's almost like no bottom to this. It's almost like it's a story that people have to keep retelling because they don't believe the ending. Yeah, and then they disappear. What do you mean they disappeared? We didn't come down and talk to us. Everybody is so open to what the heck is going on, and I'm pretty sure something's going on. I just have no good idea what it is. If I had to guess, I would say what we're seeing is either artifacts of something else or the results. This is after 69 years of life. You want to know what I think? I think what's going on in 51 is stealth technology. That's what they've been doing since the 1980s. I was asked to do, as a young copywriter, I was in advertising for years, and I worked for, Coke and Chevy, and I was asked to do a B-1 bomber ad when I was like 25 years old. I said, B-1 bomber, yeah, it's this Rockwell International. We've got trucks and trains and brilliant stuff, but we're going to ask you to do the B-1 bomber. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And then so they got somebody else to do it, but so The B-1 bomber is a breakthrough in stealth, radar detection, and all that stuff. That's what they've been doing at Area 51 forever. So I think if you fill in the blanks that's what they're doing. Why can't we see anything clearly? Well, I think we know now. Is there another explanation? There's tons of other explanations, but I haven't heard any persuasive arguments. I haven't done that, and I've seen lots of stuff. I've seen lots.
Jacques Vallée, I always try to say his name right, and sometimes I don't. The French ufologist. I just saw like an article headline from somewhere that he was saying he still doesn't know what they are. And this dude's been doing this. He's a big time scientist,
isn't it? Don't you find that with a lot of the experts you talk to, the pilots, even the people that had really close encounters with whatever this is, whatever we're talking about, because we don't really know. They all say, I have not a clue. They really do. They say this is I cannot make a deduction. So that means either something is missing from their experience, really, some sort of data they're not getting, or something so strange is happening that we can't even conceive of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to it for sure. The best sources of it are shamanism. You get like medicine people on from tribes, and they talk about it. That's when it gets really good. That's I love that for sure. One of the interesting things about it lately in the last few years is how it's increased in the media when they started releasing the footage. The black footage from the Pentagon and all that weird stuff. Just to go on YouTube and type in. I don't like Fox News, but if you type in Fox News UFOs, it's very entertaining to watch them freaking the hell out about UFOs. It's almost funny. Like it is funny. Or CNN too, or which one. But the Fox one's always the most entertaining. And I hate Fox News, but seeing those guys go nuts about it. I know Marco Rubio down here in Florida was going crazy about it too.
Everybody's gone crazy. But I think it's so mind blowing. I tried to write a book that would make a decent explanation and be honest about the mind blowing, because it involves the military, it involves science, it involves ordinary people, it involves engineers, it involves people doing test pilots. There's a whole economy of Area 51, and I always thought it was fascinating that it's America's best, biggest secret, and it's America's worst kept secret. Everybody and their brother knows about Area 51. Everybody knows it's there in the desert. It's right next to there, and they're doing some strange tests, and everybody has strange, shaky film. And I think it's so bizarre that the biggest secret in America that no one can confirm what's going on, everybody knows it's there. I thought that was really bizarre. So I use that as a premise of the novel that oh yeah, Area 51 and the engineers have one theory, and the pilots have another theory, and everybody working the base has got their own need to know level of interpretation. So nobody knows, even in the book. Not everybody except one or two people. It's about the story of two people who had real contact, deep contact with the secret, and what they make of it and what they do with it. Right? I mean, is that a good summary?
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. I kind of disagree with you on the timeline of it, though. So I've been doing research on the UFO and alien thing since I was like 11. So I'm 55. So go back 44 years. Area 51 was a rumor in the 70s. Even the big UFO research back then was like, it's here somewhere. We don't know where it is. We don't know what it is.
Right.
88, 89, Bob Lazar came out with his story from his story was Area S4 or Sector 4 or Section 4, which is 15 miles southwest of the base 51. That's when it gained speed. But what a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure you probably know this, it was part of a zone section for the Manhattan Project to test bombs, nuclear bombs. And this section was Area 51. And in 1957, the CIA acquired that area, and they had a company that my dad used to work for, EG&G, built the main facilities in 1957, built the first runway, built the main buildings on the side of the runway. And the main road, what a lot of people don't know, that comes in, that you go through the main gate, is called EG&G Avenue or Boulevard or something to that effect. So it didn't really gain its real fame or infamy until the 1990s. But there's a lot of people that have said, oh, there's aliens there, there's UFOs there. I agree with you. main section, Area 51, that part of the base is the stealth technology base that we have. They started in 57, 1958, 59. They had the U-2, then they had the Half Blue project, which became the F-117s, the SR-71s, and ongoing. So they're probably even, I don't know if they worked on any of the Navy stuff, because we now have some Navy stealth stuff that's come out. And what my dad did was, he's passed now, so with the top secret stuff he did, I don't know what he did exactly. The one technology he worked on is no longer top secret. I can talk about that one. But he worked, he was a civilian contractor to the Navy, and he worked at a place called David W. Taylor Naval Ship Research Development, which is down in, it's in Potomac, Maryland, but people say DC. And there is where they develop all the new Navy boats. So I'm thinking that there's probably a marriage between DWT, NSRDC, Area 51, then using the stealth technology from there to make our new stealth boats. Because we got a stealth destroyer out there, maybe two now. One of them has a railgun on it. We've got some stealth submarines coming out that are going to be like the next wave of protection against whatever. But that's what Area 51 is. But there's lots of people saying, oh, there's aliens there. I've seen alien creatures there. So if you maybe want to answer that, I've always been under the impression that the alien stuff is at Sector 4, Section 4, S4, 15 miles west of the base, where Robert Lazar did his research. But I occasionally have heard that sometimes some of the alien advisors have been walking around in Area 51 during certain test zones. So maybe you can elaborate on that.
Well, you have a better understanding of the whole base there, the Groom Lake test zone, all that stuff. There's probably dozens of secret operations going on there. But I agree that I think it's all about stealth. I mean, that's the technology we know. And I thought that's the metaphor for a book about government secrets and individuals who have their own secrets. And it's a book about discovering that everybody's individual secrets are somehow universal. It doesn't make a lot of sense until you've read the book, but yeah, I think a lot of people have these fragments of knowledge. I'm sure your dad was probably in on it. There's all sorts of levels of technology, and I thought that was interesting that the medical it doesn't really talk to the engineering, to the design, to whatever. And I envisioned in my head that this whole complex design like the Frank Lloyd Wright Guggenheim Museum upside down, rather than like a drill into the thing with a circular that go on, and in every bin there's something else going on. So I imagine that explanation of the base, but who knows if we'll ever know. But obviously something's going on, and they'd rather have us talk about, I think, goofy, weird stuff than talk about what's really going on.
You're absolutely right. They absolutely prefer the UFO stories because it takes attention away from what they're really doing. And you said it took you 16 years to do this book, so you probably have researched on this that the Russians were permitted to send they had a satellite that was allowed to go over every day, and we had a satellite that went over their base. I forget what they call their base, but they have an Area 51 also, where they make some of their military technology. So we both traded flyovers over our secret bases so that they could see what was and what was not going on. So before it even came out, the Russians knew about it. We knew about the Russians' base, and we were trading these flyovers, I guess, to keep each other in check, kind of like, like the executive branch keeps in check the judicial branch, that keeps in check the congressional branch, just like the checks and balances we have. That's been going on, and now we have this Ukraine thing. So who knows what's going to happen now? They're going to stop letting us look at their technology? I don't know. So it's
flyovers, eh?
Yeah,
flyovers from Russian bases. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they know everything about you can get from radar.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And you're right about the corkscrew thing, the upside down flank. I've been told, and I don't know if you can verify this, but I've been told or heard there's somewhere between 25 and 30 levels below the buildings that are on the ground at Groom Lake, Area 51.
No one's told me that. I've never heard that. I imagine that, and I probably might have heard it based on other people's stuff. That was sort of there are all sorts of levels, and they each mean something. But I have no inside. I really have no insider scoop. I have experiences like Jeffrey's had, like thousands of Americans had, and I wish I had the scoop to give you, but it's purely imaginative on my part. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a scientist. I'm a storyteller. And sorry, guys.
That's okay.
You're good.
The truth.
That's another part of the mystery behind it. Is they want truths to come out with half truths and full-on lies, so that way you're thinking, what's the real story there, and that's
confusion is just as good as silence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I've always heard that weird story, and I don't know if it's BS or not. Something about Russian astronauts, and they went out in some kind of beams of light, or aliens made them turn back and say they couldn't come through, couldn't go any further. Like the universe is quarantined. There's like whole books about it. Who knows? I mean, I wasn't there, so obviously, so I don't know if it really happened, but it's definitely a weird story about Russian cosmonauts being met by aliens. It's in UFO lore.
There's tons of stories like that. Individuals seeing things and seeing people and things on the moon, whatever. I still, what the biggest thing is, and I don't want to say this in terms of your interest or your focus or interest, but we don't know, man. Have you seen one clear video of something that oh, well, that's obviously, but I haven't. And you'd think by now we would have.
If you haven't, I don't know if you've heard of or seen any of the Billy Meyer stuff, but Billy Meyer has some fantastic photographs and live motion pictures of alien craft.
I have seen those. I'm not sure I believe in the validity of them, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's on the fence. A lot of people on the fence on that one for sure.
Are they? But yeah, that's like 50s or 60s, wasn't it?
50s, 60s, 70s, yeah.
The European pictures.
Yeah, European, Switzerland or somewhere like that. But they're so crisp and clear that either he's a genuine UFO capturer or he's a brilliant filmmaker and should be in Hollywood making space movies.
Right. I mean,
they're fantastic special effects, if they're special effects at all.
That's true. But
wasn't he like shagging Palladian chicks and stuff too?
Yeah, there's that.
The most recent videos, didn't that? Those.
The alien Pornhub.
Some crazy stuff for sure.
The little white dots on the screen videos I thought were very impressive, and I've heard people talk about them. That's the most clearest evidence of something very weird going on, but people have had tons of evidence of something weird going on. And I'm just hoping they figure it out. And somebody's going to announce, well, folks, zero cost energy. It's now, we got it figured out. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I'll tell you some good places to see good footage. A couple of documentaries. One is Dan Aykroyd's UFOs Unplugged, where David Sarita interviews Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
David Sarita's a little kooky, but it's a good interview. There's great footage. It's Dan Aykroyd smoking cigars. Tony, I guess it's cigars. I don't remember. It's not a joint or anything, but he's smoking. He's telling you, he's telling us about UFOs, and they show good footage. Yeah. I love that one. That's one of my favorites. It's free on YouTube.
Okay, I think I've seen that.
Another one is a friend of mine, Christo Rupolo. He has a documentary called Curse of the Man That Sees UFOs, and I think it's on Tubi right now. It was on Netflix, but he got some footage that's just amazing up in California. I forget where, but some amazing footage that's really good. He actually owns he used to have the dog from Pirates of the Caribbean, but it passed away. It was one of the dogs. He owns it. But he's a trip. That one's called Curse of the Man That Sees UFOs, and he gets some amazing stuff that's just amazing. Like it's just
put some links down below.
So people I'll find that one for sure.
Cool.
And so, what would you like to tell us about your book? What would you like people to know about it? Something off the cuff.
Geez, that's a big question. What would I like to know about it? 51 and UFOs and all these, they're fun, aren't they? It's fun to look at things that break the rules, and fun to imagine a life that doesn't obey the rules, whether it's moral rules or scientific rules. It's fun to have that solution out there, and it's also serious because my novel is a funny book. I think that you'll find scenes in it where you're laughing. If you see the presidents, the secret of 51 is confronted with the presidents on a regular basis. It's sort of like says, well, in 2005 this happened, and each one of those confrontations blows people's mind because it's hysterical. They're each confronting something in reality that no one's ever seen. So there's this thing that happens while reading 51 that I tried to create, which was this idea of paradigm overload. That every chapter is like, what? You turn the next page and it's it, and you go, what? And after a while, you realize it's a story of unforgettable characters. The first chapter, two guys meet, and then one guy starts talking. And if somebody put a book together of what's the weirdest, scariest thing that's ever happened to you, that would be 51. Every chapter is somebody saying something outrageous about the thing. And as you'll get into 51, you realize that's every one of those interviews is very dangerous. The information that they're hiding or they're hinting at. And so you realize, oh my God, at any time, these people could be dead. That sort of thing. So it's this edge of your seat thriller that explains stuff about UFOs, but also about friendship. It's a strange novel about two friends who were best friends in college. And like the best friends in college do, sometimes they grow away. One guy went one way, one guy went another. One guy named Coop went to Vietnam and became an amazing translator and language expert. The other guy just stayed and putzed around town and then, became a photographer. And then they meet back together and they click. There's certain people in your lives that you just go boom. And that's the story of Coop and Nuke. Coop is this incredibly smart scientist, a mathematician, linguist, polymath, and his best friend is a sort of relaxed, nice guy named Nuke. And they take each other for granted because they know each other. And it's neat to see them reconnect and to see the trust between them happen. And this guy tells them the worst thing that's ever happened to him. And then he says, yeah, that happened to me. And their friendship starts to go like this. And then it gets weirder and weirder and weirder.
And then I know in the description, massive conspiracy. Coop was at the center of a massive conspiracy that the government faked UFOs just to cover it up.
Right. And we get to the bottom of it. And it's an exploration of all the trauma as well as mind-blowing experiences that people have when they confront something totally different, something outside of the realm of reality. And everyone in the book is affected by it in different ways. Some want to kill it. Some want to hide it and use it as a source of knowledge. Some want to take this secret and make it purely weaponized. And it's interesting that this whole secret at the bottom of it all is something that's different for everybody. They each have to respond to it in a different way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what would you consider it? Sci-fi? What genre?
Good question. I think it's a terrific question. I think it's one of those books that is all these things at once. And I'm not hedging my bets. I think it's a science fiction novel, but it's a tell-all, right? It's a true confession. It's a tabloid newspaper article, the strangest tabloid headlines you've ever seen. Man wakes up with invisible creature one day in his bed. Stuff like that. So it's all those things combined together. So it's an exploration of the stories that we tell ourselves about the mysteries in our lives. If that makes sense.
Have you happened to be catching that Resident Alien TV show at all?
What is it called?
Resident Alien.
Is that the guy from Firefly?
Yes. It's really good if you get a chance to see it. It's on Peacock and Sci-Fi, but Peacock's probably the best place to see it. Cool. But it is hilarious. It's based on a comic book. It's basically about a gray alien that comes down to destroy humanity because they're out of control and destroying the Earth. But he takes over the body of a human doctor in a small town, and it's funny. And he plays this big gray alien that's there to destroy humanity, but he's also kind of liking some of the humanity. So yeah, he's a great actor. It's really good. That character kind of sticks to you, rubs off on you.
What's the title again?
Resident Alien, RESIDENT Alien. There's also a comic book that's really good. It's based on from Dark Horse, I think it is. Right. I have one, but I think it's Dark Horse. But yeah, it's good. And so the UFO subject, as far as have you always want to write about it in a book? Is this the first time writing about it in a book?
No, actually, all my books have some sort of alien creature in them. All my
Oh,
books are
wow.
explorations of other creatures that interact with the world. My first one is about a man who is a psychiatrist who has a patient that says she's been left on Earth for 1 year by the aliens, and she has to convince one person that she's sane. And if she does that, she can stay. That's door number 3, my first novel. So another alien, and that has to do with time travel. The Gift is my
Nice.
second novel, a fantasy. It looks at the on the surface of it as a story of a young boy learning magic in a medieval country, and it turns also all to be another encounter with a strange force, another alien culture. And The Impossible Bird is about aliens who take over the earth and use hummingbirds as their spokesman and create a whole culture with people and hummingbirds. And it's so they're each. How do we face the strange otherness in our lives, whether it's aliens at 51 or aliens in our stories or ghosts or monsters? They've all been encounters of alien in the sense of encountering things that we can't look at in ourselves and some things we don't want to see outside. So that's no, all my books are, I put it this way, all my books are about aliens, and I'd be happy to accept that.
Nice. Are you an alien?
I'm not an alien.
I might be. I don't know. I've had enough UFO stuff. I've been like, am I an alien? What the hell's going on? Yeah. But I know one thing they compared your book to was the Old Man's War. Do you know a lot about that book? I looked it up.
That's Scalzi, isn't it? John Scalzi?
I believe so. Yes.
I've not read it, and
I pulled it up just to see what that was. I'd never heard of it.
He's a stitch, man. Have you seen his videos on sex and robots? John Scalzi wrote this book about yogurt taking over. This film about yogurt taking over the world. Talking about alien invasion, except it's conscious yogurt, and they literally take over the world. Wow. It's one of the funniest things I've ever read.
That's a trip. I'll have to look it up. I saved the cover of his book to try to check it out at some point. I was just curious. Sure. But so your next book, is that gonna take a shorter amount of time, or are you aiming for longer, 16 years again?
How do I say this? I have no idea how long it's going to take me to write anything. I have no idea what I'm writing until I'm done. I continue to write, and I said, what the hell am I doing? And I make it up as I go along, and I don't stop writing until I believe it all, every friggin' word. And that's my method. So what am I working on now? I have no idea. I got a stack of paper this high. I'm working on a record album, my music, and I'm working on a poetry collection. And who knows what's next.
So what kind of music do you do? You have a record album?
I have stuff released on iTunes and stuff like that. It's just me screwing around with my guitar. I'm an okay songwriter, and I like to jam, and it's fun stuff. But it's as strange as my books.
Cool. Well, is there a website you'd like to give out or anything?
Yeah, I mean, Substack is where I do my weekly newsletter. I have a newsletter where I tell people what's going on in my life. I give them updates on 51 and what the secrets and stories are in it, and as well as poetry and jokes and music. And it's called, just go to PO'Learysubstack.com. It's called, if you can imagine a stack of submarines, Substack.com. PO'Learysubstack.com. And it's where I do my newsletter called Creative Strategies for a Godless Reality, which is my advice to the world.
I'll check it out. I actually am familiar with Substack. I do the James Tynion one. He's a comic book writer.
Cool.
But he has an interesting book, a comic that they do put out there. It's a project called Project Blue Book, and they're doing the Betty and Barney Hill in comic book form right now.
I heard about that. Yeah, Betty talking about a classic story in the lore, right?
It's pretty cool. I'm hoping they release it as a comic book. Like they may eventually. Sometimes they do that. But I've noticed that on Amazon, like they have digital comics, and eventually they'll come out in paper form. Mm-hmm. But I love comics, but I do wonder about the damaged trees with comics for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
But
comics,
yeah, I've been getting into them, and they're addictive. I'm having to curb my appetite for sure. Mm-hmm. You can go fast, especially if you start looking in the Spawn and stuff. You'll be in deep trouble if you want to get all those Spawn and all that stuff. But but it's been great having you on. It's been
great, guys.
Great meeting you.
Yeah,
and definitely keep us in the loop on future things, and
sure
we'll talk about it again.
Send me a couple of those links, Jeffrey. I'd be interested to read them, especially the comics and stuff. And a pleasure talking to you too, Jay. You know,
thanks, Patrick.
If you learn anything I don't know, let me know. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a good movie, called Midnight Special. Has Michael Shannon in it, and it's got a little boy, and there's like a multi-dimensional civilization interwrapped, I guess, with ours. I think that's about the truth on some weird level. Cool. Also, another one I always talk about is Cocoon, Ron Howard, 1 and 2. Steve Gutenberg, baby.
I like those.
There's something to it, I'm telling you. I've seen beings of light like that completely sober. Yeah. I've seen them partying too, but I've seen them completely sober. I saw two leave.
Light weren't partying, were they?
I saw two leave my house in Florida, like they had been in the house and fly into the heavens completely sober. Wow. And I'll never forget it. There's something to it, and that's pretty much Cocoon is about weird light beings. Yeah. But there's something in shamans. I've talked to them, luminous beings of light. They talk about them all the time too. But it's been great having you on, and thanks so much. The book's 51 by Patrick O'Leary.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Everybody keep Ukraine in your prayers, and everybody check out 51 for sure.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, take care, Patrick.
All right, take care.
I'll be in touch with some links and weird stuff. Take care. All right. Let's see here. All right, you're listening to United Public Radio 107.7 FM New Orleans. Next week is Joe R. Lansdale. I would consider that a Stephen King type level author. He's been around the block. I remember coming around some books of his. He wrote like his Batman book. That's weird. He also did the Jonah Hex comics remakes with Timothy Truman that are weird, like that Jonah Hex from DC Comics. Weird West. He's like the father of Weird West, but he has some books he's New York Times best-selling author, so we'll maybe just be doing an hour or two, but it's good to have him back. I remember at one point some, what was her name? Eileen Pistachio Nut, or whatever her name is, got mad at him because he said that he was a socialist, and she was like, I'd rather listen to a one-bladed ceiling fan than And then I said something to her about a fart box, and then she threatened to do a baby doll conjuring on me because I said something rude to her. And then she was like, you need Jesus at the same time. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, you're going to do voodoo on me and telling me I need Jesus at the same time? I know there's weird Catholic stuff with that. It was just weird. But anyway, that was a long time ago. But he's coming back, and Hap and Leonard was what he wrote. He wrote a lot of books. There was a show with Michael K. Williams and James Purefoy.
I love him. He's a great actor.
Yeah, and unfortunately that show got canceled, but it was really good. He's also was friends with Bill Paxton. Well, still is, but Bill Paxton passed, so hopefully from the afterlife they're still friends. But it was just sad, that Bill Paxton thing, man, that sucked.
Yeah, he was young too.
Express elevator to hell. Aliens. He's also in Weird Science. Remember Chet from Weird Science, the goofy monster and all that stuff.
He wasn't a goofy monster. He was a giant pile of poo.
Yeah. He was in what's Near Dark? That vampire movie that's like a classic, really good horror movie, Near Dark.
Believe it or not, he's also in Terminator.
Yeah, who's he in Terminator? Oh, I'm sure.
You remember the three punks that the Terminator finds at the telescope?
Oh yeah.
He's one of those punks. I think he's the one that gets his heart ripped out.
God bless Bill Paxton. Joe talked about his funeral and stuff the last time. I ain't gonna ask him about it again because it's just sad. But Bill Paxton's cool. Basically, Bill Paxton just went to a surgery and they screwed it up somehow and killed him.
Yeah, he got an infection or something like that.
Sucks. What the hell's wrong with this world?
That's what I was saying. That we need that Star Trek technology, better health care. You won't need money. You won't need to go to the grocery store. You just go up to a panel in the wall and say, give me tacos, and tacos show up. Or you might have to go to a doctor for healing, but they can take these devices and pass it over you, and your bone automatically knits back together. That's amazing stuff that has been predicted through Star Trek and other TV shows and movies and whatnot. If the technology is there, we could seriously fix this planet. I mean, all the problems we are having now, things with Ukraine and things with other countries at war, we could end them.
So what? I know the doomsday clock about 8 days ago was 100 seconds to doomsday. But what is it now? I'm trying to see what it says now. I don't see any updates, but it's probably like 1 minute till or something. Yeah. That's about where it's at. But it's definitely creepy for sure. Definitely some creepiness with that. I mean, that's basically the weird part about Ukraine and Russia. If you interfere, it could be nuclear holocaust.
It still says 100 seconds to midnight on the doomsday clock.
Okay. I would think it would have went up a couple of notches. Maybe
like 10 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they ain't updated it. Yeah, or something.
Maybe they're not watching the news.
They're freaking out. Scared to do it. But who knows? It's just crazy. And that's the biggest thing. When Russia conquers a place, what happens to the civilians? So they try to just make you be regular citizens, or they start killing your ass?
Yeah, I mean, you're basically Russia. If they take over the whole country, you're basically going to become a Russian citizen. And we haven't had that problem in this country. But what happened to the northern part of Korea when we lost that in the Korean War? They became communists, and without whether people wanted it or not, they didn't have any choice. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about. I mean, he said that he saw a video of a tank running over a car, and the guy lived it. Didn't die, but it's still insane. They're doing that at one time. They're probably doing it a bunch of times. Running over cars, and people are fleeing. People are checking on family. It's just really creepy. The creepiest thing that I've seen is where I work at. They are trying to paint Putin into like a hero. A lot of these article people that are on right-wing media sites, they're like trying to paint him into like he's great, like he's doing, like they're even saying Trump and him and the China are all allies, and like they're conquering deep state of our government.
I don't know how they can say that. Trump isn't actually in any kind of control over the government at all right now, number one. Number two, I don't think they would be friends. The only reason why they even talked was because they were the leaders of the two largest countries on the planet. And I don't think Putin would be doing this if Trump was president right now. He was afraid of Trump, and he's not afraid of Biden. And he's not afraid of what Biden's going to throw at, whether he throws troops to Turkey or troops to Ukraine or troops to Poland. Putin couldn't give two shakes of a rat's ass about our president or what he thinks of what he's doing over there. And what he's doing might be tantamount to criminal, like a war crime kind of thing. I don't know yet, but something's got to get done. I mean, it ain't going to be Biden to do it.
What can you do?
You get Trump back in there. You put that guy back in check. He was absolutely afraid of Trump. Because I guarantee you, while Trump was going on, none of this stuff would have happened, and none of it did. So,
well, it's just insane. It's all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
As far as just the craziness, I don't like any of them. I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. I don't even like our government. Like, they suck.
I'm with you. I don't like the government, and I'm not a fan of Trump, but gotta admit the economy was a lot better under Trump than it is under Biden.
I don't know. I think it all sucks. Give me another stimulus.
Yeah, give me some more money.
Give me another stimuli. And I'll still talk S about you. So, one time a scientist told me that they watched me, Joe Resnick. I don't even know if that dude's still alive. Dr. Joe Resnick. I guess he is. But he said that they were watching me, the government, and that I wasn't patriotic enough. And they know how many times I flushed the toilet. And I should say, God bless America after every show. Then this is some scientist that's made patents with the government. It's been on Fox News for oil cleansing tech from the ocean and stuff like that. But anyway, I did find that weird credit on my phone bill when I said I was going to shut it off after around that time.
I remember.
It was weird.
That was a couple years ago.
I like America, the lands, like the earth of America, but the institution, I just don't feel anything for it. that makes me whatever. I don't care. Just seems like being excited for Ed Gein, Leatherface. I just don't feel anything. I don't feel the love for the American government. I
Well,
don't feel the love
you
for
know how
any
I feel about
government.
it. I don't
Any
even think it's the
government.
American government,
I don't feel the love for any government.
Well, that too, but I mean, since 1945, 46, Operation Paperclip, I've called our government basically the Fourth Reich. They got however many scientists, they got 200 some odd scientists from Germany in World War II, quashed their war crime records, and then they infiltrated like the deepest corners of our government, NASA, the NSA, CIA, government offices and whatnot. And I guarantee you that it might seem like we're the United States of America, but we haven't
There's
lost
something
our
to
rights
it.
yet because they did that once in Germany. They know that taking away our guns and taking away our rights isn't going to work, so they let us have those. But I still think I feel like we're under the Fourth Reich. We're the last bastion of Aryan society, and it's scary if it's true.
Well, there's some truth to it. All their scientists came over here, and that was Operation Paperclip. There's a lot of stuff about the Antarctica lore. A lot of it's probably BS, but there's got to be some truth in there somewhere about some Nazi stuff going on there. I've seen silly stuff in exopolitics, like they saying that the cabal got busted up in Antarctica, and the aliens and some Earth Alliance are in control now. And like we're not under power of dark forces anymore. It seems like a lie because you can still look at the headlines and see murders everywhere, women killing babies and weird, crazy stuff. And I just think there's demonic forces on this earth, and there's angelic forces. And some of these stories I see just looking at Bing when I have to go to just my Explorer, like there's always some sick story popping up. You saw some story about a lady that crushed a 9-week-old baby on purpose or something weird.
Wow.
Like, I'm not laughing about it. It's just sick. There's always sick stuff happening. And if it ain't just humans, then there's something just rotten. Something rotten here to the core. It's just so much death and disgusting murder and sickness. And then you see what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. That's just like the biggest, bluntest, aggressive force that we've seen like that. I'm sure wars happen, but this is definitely, it's just creepier when everything's at stake. If someone even tries to intervene.
Yeah, I've always thought the opening volleys of World War III was when the Twin Towers in the Pentagon were destroyed by terrorists, but this is seeming more like the World War III event than anything else, because he says he's only going to take over 1 or 2 provinces, but why? I mean, what is 2 provinces going to do versus the whole country? What's there that he needs in those 2 provinces?
Well, I think he's just flexing muscle to let China flex their muscle with Taiwan. And then once they do that, who knows what's next? You just don't know,
Yeah, this could be the sinking of the Lusitania or the bombing of Pearl Harbor. I mean, it doesn't bode well for the entire planet at all. And it's definitely not for the Ukrainians.
It's definitely crazy. Crazy. Looks like we don't have enough stress.
As if, there's plenty of that at my work. Don't need any more.
What's going on there? Still COVID crap?
No, they actually, believe it or not, yesterday or the day before, they lifted the mask mandate, so we don't have to wear masks at work anymore. But there's still stress. I mean, it's normal work stuff. You get this done, get that done before your shift is over. And they've taken half of our supervisors down, and we went from 12 or 13 to now 7 supervisors. So there isn't a lot of support when you need to go up to the next level to get your customers' help. So that's just retail.
Is your friend who passed work with you?
He did work. He wasn't working there at the time, but he had been working there. He was there 4 or 5 years. He's been gone about 2 years from that store. So,
okay.
But yeah, no, we were friends. I mean, as soon as he came into the store, we immediately became friends and bonded right away. He's one of those cool dudes. He's one of those people you can look at right away and go, "Oh, I'm going to hang with him." You know what I mean?
What's his name? Tell everybody his name so we can have a
Ron Miller. Ron Miller, 42.
A moment of peace. May he enter the gates of heaven.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's up there right now making fun of us right now. But he also enjoyed watching and listening to the show as well. So that was
He
cool.
listened to the show. Cool.
Yeah, he did.
Rest in peace, Brother Trucker. Set us up a castle up there. We'll be joining you at some point. Maybe sooner than we think. Nuclear cloud. Yeah. A nuclear cloud of dust. Incineration.
Well, I'm looking at my window right now. I don't see any mushroom clouds, so I think we're clear.
Yeah. And I see some of the stuff in the articles and stuff I see. They say they think Russia's about to come get us. Like any minute. Like, they're about to, China and Russia's about to come get us at any second.
Well, Russia coming over here to attack the United States, the ground, is tantamount to Hitler attacking Russia in winter when he had a pact with them so that they won't be enemies. But they come over here, it's on. They will not. No country has enough manpower to take over the United States. Russia has enough people, but they don't have enough navy to get those people over here. Russia has enough navy, but they don't have enough people. So it's kind of maybe that's why they're doing this, is to put the Chinese army on the Russian navy and send them over. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, if it gets down to that, nukes are going to fly probably at some point. It's not even going to be. They might start off with that kind of stuff, but in the end, it's going to be nuke city.
It's going to be hard for them to take over a country, whether it's Russia and China or either or by themselves. It's just not a feasible plan. It's not a good plan because there's a lot of civilian gunpowder here.
There's gonna be fire and blood.
Mm-hmm.
Fire and blood.
There's going to be a gun behind every blade of grass, is what somebody said once.
There's a game called Wastelanders where these like redneck cannibal mullet hillbilly dudes. Gonna be fire and blood. They have mullets. Oh, it's Wasteland 3. That's right. Just like a crazy Mad Max game. Actually really good. You have to be smart. You have to be intelligent to get past it. It's hard. It's like snipers. Like cannibal snipers trying to get you so they can eat you.
Cannibal snipers with mullets.
We got Emerther aliens here with us tonight. Greetings, everyone. Greetings and salutations, Emerther aliens. Not sure what an Emerther is. Maybe that's your alien name. But we have Patrick O'Leary on. He's gone now. Books are hard to write. 16 years is a long time, but I can understand it. It's a pain in the butt.
I've tried to do it. I can't. It's not that I don't have the time for it. It's just that it's hard. I mean, like we were talking earlier, you got to type. You got to look at what you're typing. You got to think about what you're typing, and you got to think about the grammar. All that combined, it makes it a difficult task.
Well, next week, I'm going to read off our guests because I got a few to discuss with you. And when you're next after Joe Lansdale, we got March 4th, Joe R. Lansdale, father of Weird West. He wrote some good Weird West books that are really good. I love those. March 11th, Jim Hunt. That's with Wham. That's some dude that's on some Amazon Ghost show. March 18th, Micah Dank. That's like unexplained stuff in the Bible or weird stuff. April 25th, Andrew Aloha. That's all kinds of different stuff. He came to the chat here one time, and I got him on Facebook, so he's going to come on. But then when you come back April 1st on April Fool's Day, Agnos.
Agnos, yeah.
I say it's Agnos.
Agnos, yeah.
I'm sure I confirmed it with him when I had him on the first time, but
he was on. I wasn't able to be on for that show, but yeah,
he'll be on, and looking forward to that. Jay wants him on, so there he is. There you go, on a platter. Then April 8th, you're not going to believe who's coming on.
Nick Redfern.
No, I haven't talked to him in a while. I like Nick Redfern, but I've interviewed him 10 times. I'd have to see what his newest book is. He works, so he has like a job. So
Yeah, you and I have done 6 interviews with him.
6 on the air?
6 on the air with Nick Redford, you and I, yes.
Really?
Yes.
I believe it.
He did 2 of our Halloween shows in a row. 2 years in a row he did Halloween show with us.
Yeah. Nick Redfern. April 8th, Dr. Torrey.
Cool.
You know who he is from Coast to Coast, remember? Dr. Turi. He's like Nostradamus and stuff.
Was he on before?
A long time ago. Look him up. A lot of people.
I think I was on with him before, yeah.
He's been on with like Art Bell and stuff. Dr. Torrey. He's like weird prophecies and the parasitic stuff that infects mankind, causes murders, and told me I had a golden draconian reptile that helped me see stuff and all this stuff. He's been around a long time. Back probably since Art Bell, at least. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he's been on Art Bell. But loves Nostradamus. Have a lot of insight on this Russian stuff if we're still alive and what's coming up. What's going with Putin's the Antichrist. Trump will gooch as his henchman. And I'm still scheduling for April, slowly but surely. So, was going to do a show with what was his name? The dude that wrote Ultra Culture, Carl Abramson, in Sweden. He just wrote a book about Aunt LaVey, but the time was so weird in Sweden. He's been on before, but it'd be like 2 to 4 a.m. there, and I couldn't do it. So that kind of sucked. But those shows are creepy when you do those kind of shows. Those Aunt LaVey Church of S shows, those creepy shows. I try to act like I'm Geraldo Rivera when I do those shows.
Yeah.
all innocent and stuff, like Devil Worshippers, Devil Panic of the 80s, Dungeons and Dragons. Satanic Panic. I've interviewed some of those guys. They don't ever mess with me. They seem to like me. They don't ask me to join them. They don't do anything. I don't try to join them. But I've had spokesmen on from there, Church of S, Eric Werner, many times. He loves the show. He's like a creepy vampire that lives next door to you, but he's like looks like a wholesome boy. But anyway, they're just interesting to do those kind of shows. Definitely a creepy little vibe, though, when you do them. But the Aunt LaVey thing is weird. I get told I look like him a lot for some reason. Like, now I'm like fat Aunt LaVey. But he didn't live very long, so probably not a good thing to draw on. But as far as going to do that Vikings Valhalla at some point, been watching Righteous Gemstones on HBO Max. You seen that? Righteous Gemstones?
No, I haven't seen that. I did finish up a book of Boba Fett, and I thought I was 2 episodes behind, but I was only 1 episode behind. So I watched that last one. I was like, wait, that's the last one? What? I want more. So
Righteous Gemstones got John Goodman in it, and it's by Jody Hill. He did Eastbound and Bound and Vice Principals on HBO funny shows with that Walter Goggins and Danny McBride. It's about these televangelists, and it gets crazy. It's goofy, but it's funny. I like John Goodman. But they get on stage and do all the Jesus stuff, but it gets crazy, like crazy.
I like Walter Goggins. He was on.
Eric Roberts is in it. He's a villain, like Julia Roberts' brother. I'll tell you a show you need to watch if you haven't watched it on HBO Max yet. Raised by Wolves.
I saw the little tile for that, and I was going to check that out. That's
If you like Aliens, if you like any of that stuff, that's Ridley Scott produces. It's freaking good.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was trying to remember the director name is Ridley Scott, who did Terminator, right?
Yeah, no, he did. That's James Cameron. Ridley Scott did Alien and Gladiator.
Aliens, yeah.
But Raised by Wolves about these androids that take children to planets, I guess, to colonize. And then they get caught up with this other collective that's like atheists, and then they join them. They're kind of atheists. Like, they want to be atheists. They say they're atheists. But anyway, then you got Travis Fimmel in it from Vikings Ragnar. And he's like a terrorist who believes in God. The sun is the God of light. like Mithras kind of thing, and it's crazy. Like there's creatures in it. There's all kinds of like robots. There's crazy special effects. It's like watching Alien or Prometheus, but it's really good. Actually, it's good.
Prometheus was really good, and I can't see why he came out saying it wasn't a prequel. It was.
I like it.
Clearly.
I didn't think it was bad. This seems kind of reminds me of Alien and stuff. So what is up?
Are these the same kind of aliens, like the Giger aliens, or is it like the traditional gray?
There's weirder stuff. It's hard.
Oh, okay.
There's weirder stuff that I don't even. There's like this big weird dragon in it, but he doesn't have wings and it flies like a big, like a serpent, like from Norse mythology or something. There's all kinds of weird creatures in it. I can't keep up. There's a new one. A bunch of new creatures came in it. But it's good. I'm telling you, it's one of the best sci-fi that's probably come out in a while.
I'll give it a look.
Raised by Wolves, HBO Max. What else? I used to have those H.G. Giger books. Now I was looking on eBay to see if I could find them again. They're like thousands of dollars. Like, I wish I wouldn't have got rid of those like a dummy a long time ago. Even though I don't know what versions I had. There's different versions, but even some of the versions, like version 4 was going for like $400. I was like, man, come on. It's just those art books, big hardcover art books of his work. He died, but I have a documentary about him. I never watched it either. I bet it's good. It's called Dark Star or something like that.
I think I saw that, and yeah, he did do a lot of stuff. I mean, he did the first design work for the first Dune movie that didn't pan out, and they kept his artwork for David Lynch's version. Obviously, his monster was in the Alien series, so he's well known. So great artwork, weird but great artwork.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff looks like phalluses.
Yeah.
Even the aliens look like phalluses.
Yeah, that big thing off the back of their head. Yeah, okay. The spikes on their back.
For sure. Faux showing up. There's something going on there. Something fallacy.
Yeah.
But
him and Morbius both really weird dudes.
So what was up with all these people hating on Boba Fett? Like I said, it's like a bunch of people just don't like it, like that dude or something. I think it's stupid. I've seen it.
I liked the show. I thought it was fantastic.
I've seen like people in comments about it going crazy, pissed off, saying bad things, which I don't. I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it.
I guarantee you, those people who hate the show now, if it had been produced by George Lucas rather than Jon Favreau, who I like, it would have been even worse. It would have sucked a lot worse. And I don't think it sucked at all. I thought it was a fantastic show.
I liked it. But I prefer the Boba Fett and the seedy underworld more of that kind of scenes and stories, though. Where you're interacting with the denizens of the, Jabba world. I like that part of it a lot. Oh, the underworld. The Mandalorian
they're trying to paint him more
okay.
as a good guy, but I mean, think about it. He's just trying to reinvent himself. He's just got spit out of the Sarlacc. However long ago that was.
They want him to be mean. I think that was part of it. They want him to be more mean. But if you ever see anything about it in the comments, like an article about it, go to the comments and you'll be like, what the hell? Like, I'm going crazy, mad about it. People get mad about everything.
Then for those people that don't like it, guess what? There's a dial on your TV. Change the station or turn it off.
You won't be so mad when you nuclear incinerate it by a nuclear bomb, now will you?
Right.
I think it could happen tonight in our sleep. That's how crazy it is right now.
Yeah, if Russia wants to push the button, they can definitely send some stuff our way.
It has like nukes that cause tsunamis.
I think even just a 1 kiloton bomb, if you put it in the right spot in the ocean, it'll cause a tsunami. How big, I don't know, but enough to affect, shorelines anyway.
Patrick O'Leary wrote, he said, Jeffrey and Jay, thanks for your kind words and thoughtful interview. It was fun. Let's hope we survive Ukraine and Putin, and may our galactic neighbors help. Best as always, Patrick O'Leary.
Cool. Thanks, Patrick.
That's right. Trying to think what else I've been watching. I can't remember. Saw some weird 1933 Alice in Wonderland that was weird as hell. Like really trippy.
Is it black and white? I probably saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real, got goofy creatures in it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that. It was weird. Is it silent?
No, it's got sound.
It's got sound. There's also one that's silent. That's like even creepier than the one we're talking about.
There's a claymation one that's really weird. I think I have it somewhere. No, Alice. That's really weird. It looks really. It's by Jav Shankar or something weird. I forget the guy's name. He makes weird. Did
Robbie
like Tom,
Shankar.
Yeah, he did like Tom Thumb. I don't know if that's the same dude did Tom Thumb. Tom Thumb's this weird little animation about a little thing running around, a little dwarf thing running around. But well, if we all die in the nuclear infusion, everybody, I just want to say it's been a pleasure doing all this time with you, and send love. My tentacles go out. And if we all blow up, then it's been one hell of a show. I think it's just mostly sad how pathetic humanity is. It's just pathetic. Gross.
There's a lot of stupid people on the planet, unfortunately.
And it's just disgusting. Murderers and war profiteers, and it's just gross.
Well, that's kind of the reason why I think they're not letting some of the technology get out that we have, is because if you eliminate economies and you don't need money, what's the point of war? War is one of the most profitable businesses on this planet, and if you talk to Georgios Tsoukalos, it's our number one export is tribal warfare.
Yeah, but, I mean, it seems like Russia's just going to beat the crap out of them. And it seems like they already are doing it.
I don't think they're going to nuke it. There's something they want, whether it's a resource or facilities or something over there that they want, that they need or they don't have in Russia. And we were talking about earlier in the show that there's like number 4 as far as the production of uranium ores. Number 3 or 4 as far as production of magnesium and manganese, which are major elements for all kinds of electronics. There was a list that went through Facebook that had all these resources that are available in Ukraine, and that's probably the reason why they're going after it. And he says only going to take 2 provinces. I don't think it's going to end with just 2. I mean, unless all the resources that Ukraine has are in those 2 areas only. He's going to take over the whole country at some point. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't see it. It's going to have a happy ending. He's definitely trying to do what Stalin kind of stuff to get in the history books too. He's power hungry, so it's a big part of it. Trying to make history. The bear and the dragon and the eagle.
Yeah.
Pretty sure there's some prophecy about that somewhere from Nostradamus or somebody.
Well, even if there isn't, think about it. The eagle and the dragon both can fly. The bear can't. Bears don't lose.
Accused dad killer told cops he's Trump and parents are Bill and Hillary.
Huh? What?
After stabbing his dad to death with a switchblade, 40-year-old Christopher Brian Clarabelle planned to arrest his mom and deliver her to Guantanamo under the War Crimes Act for the crimes that she committed against him and the crimes that she committed against the country. This is a dude that got arrested. It's on MSN. Accused dad killer told cops he's Trump and parents are Bill and Hillary. And basically, he just went crazy. I mean, there's a lot of stories like this. People are going nuts. Yeah. I've wondered, they always are, I guess. But I've wondered about energy weapons. I see a lot of stuff about that in the conspiracy aisle. I even seen this one guy, Ray Fullerton, that does Fullerton Informer. he does all this stuff about 5G that most people think is nutty, but YouTube never took him down. He's still up.
Yeah.
But he was putting up this one thing about China and us putting up all these antennas. Sometimes I wonder if they use like energy weapons on us. Like I know they do to disperse crowds, but I'm talking about on the population to like curb your emotions or just weird stuff. Like there's weird stuff going on.
Someone was telling me the other day that at work that 5G is like a frequency that is used by microwaves to cook our food.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I just know I don't try to get too kooky about all that stuff, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're aiming satellites at us or something, shooting rays at us. I just felt tired lately, weird, just out of sorts.
Yeah, same here.
And everybody I talk to has.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't sleep right. I wake up in the middle of the night once or twice.
We're having trouble sleeping.
Yeah, and then once I'm up, at work I go to dinner at 4 o'clock or 4 hours in at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, depending on whether I go in at 1 or 2. And right after dinner, if I don't drink coffee, I start to fall asleep. I mean, like immediately after I clock back in, it's like I could fall asleep walking right through the store.
I have to do that too a lot of times. But they could be shooting energy weapons at the whole population, doing stuff with satellites, with whatever these antennas. Wouldn't surprise me. Sounds kooky, but
they could be putting stuff in our water. You never know.
Then there's stuff about the Earth's magnetic field that's going crazy. The sun's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Everything's just crazy. But
we could be flying through a part of the galaxy or the part of our universe or whatever that has weird energy that's getting through the magnetic atmosphere and affecting us too. Who knows? It could be aliens, could be weapons, could be natural. I don't know.
I have to start curbing my appetite on things that cause vasoconstriction, like coffee. Like maybe try to slow down on it. Nicotine, stuff that makes your veins shrink. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've had blood pressure stuff lately. Try not to take any stupid pills for it because they do all kinds of other crap to you when you take them. But
I got to take 3 pills for blood pressure every day. 3 of them.
3 pills for blood pressure
every day.
No, what are they?
Lisinopril, metoprolol, and I can't remember the third one. Well, I used to have the one that they call the water pill, and which made you pee. I mean, like you could be standing there normal, all of a sudden, bam, you go pee now, or you're gonna wet yourself. That's how bad. I finally got rid of that one, but and I got to take 6 pills every morning. 3 of them for blood pressure, 2 of them for my back, 1 of them for my legs.
You don't get high blood pressure ever. You still get it.
Oh no, I have high blood pressure. It's just these pills keep it in check, allegedly.
Yeah.
I guess if I quit smoking, they'd probably take 1 or 2 of those pills away. But
you mean
a
vape or
tobacco lobbyists.
Oh, okay. I do a vape, but I need to quit doing it. But I don't really do it that much. Like I've had 2 bottles of the crap that you buy for it, and I've had it like for years. Like some of these bottles, they last forever. But other people have seen they go through it in a week or whatever. It's just weird. So let's not hit it that much. But I just like to not stop doing it completely. But that's a process. But as far as I've had to do with Lisinopril, and my biggest problem is a gooch killer.
It's a what killer?
A gooch killer.
A gooch killer.
Messes with your junk. It can. It just depends on the scenario or whatever. But that's what I don't like about that stuff. And I've thought about, I have to go to a doctor and get all this crap. Don't wanna. You need to see Resident Alien.
I do. Yeah, I've seen parts of it. Like couple shows.
Where?
I do like Alan Tudyk, but I've been trying to catch up. Well, not catch up, but review my favorite decadent reality show, Survivor. So.
Is that with the naked people on the island?
Huh?
That's with the survivors on the island, but they're not naked.
Yeah, no, it's not naked and alone. That's when they put 2 people out with no clothes. No, survivors, they take like 18 to 20 people, dump them in an exotic location, and they pit them against each other on 2 different teams until they whittle it down to several few, and the last guy wins $1 million.
It's just been a while.
Yeah,
I've seen it. One of my favorite survival shows is Alone. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's more gritty. You're not naked. You got stuff, but it's still rough, like bears and wolves and craziness, and crazy places. But I haven't watched that one in a while. That's a good one. But Raised by Wolves is definitely sci-fi, really good stuff.
Yeah, I've got it written down here. I want to check that out for sure.
Yeah, you'll like it. Good escape. But yeah, definitely feeling tired lately. I have to go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I could probably easily too.
We're just gonna go to sleep, and y'all can listen to us. White noise. Have you ever listened to that white noise stuff?
Yeah, kind of. I have one of those Lenovo smart clocks, which has a Google Assistant in it, and if you say, "Hey Google, good night," it'll ask you what time you want to go to sleep, and it'll set you an alarm, and then it plays either like a rainforest and crickets, or a thunderstorm or ocean. I have it set for crickets, but yeah, it helps you to go to sleep.
What is it again? What is it? Like a clock?
It's a smart alarm clock called Lenovo, like the computers, and it's got a Google Assistant in it, and you can tell it all kinds of things, like when you want to wake up. You can set alarms, like tell me when it's 5:30 so I can go pick up the mail or go to get dinner, whatever. Really, really cool thing, and it's a display, so it actually has like a clock face on it. It'll tell you what the weather is. If it's raining outside, the face will be raining. So it's a neat thing. They're like $50, I think.
You have to pay for it monthly or anything?
No. Mm-mm.
That's cool. I like the idea that you could nighttime companion. Does that mean the music?
Yeah, you can play music from Spotify or YouTube. You can do if you have like audiobooks, it'll read audiobooks to you.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
I'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah. The Lenovo smart clock.
They have some on Amazon for like eBay for like $22 or less.
Mm.
Maybe one year I'll get one.
It's worth getting because I used to have my original alarm clock is in here, and it had 2 alarms in it, so I could set it for one for, if I have to be up at 10 a.m., I set one at 9 and one at 8, because I'll sleep through the first one, no problem. The second one wakes me up. The Lenovo clock wakes me up, and a lot of times I wake up before it, but I'll tell it, say, hey, good night, and then it says, what time do you want to wake up? And I'll either give it a time or I want to sleep for 8 hours, and it'll set the alarm accordingly. Very cool device.
Cool. I like that Jimmy Buffett coral reefer surfing in a hurricane.
Yeah.
He's got vapes down here in Florida, buddy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Jimmy Buffett vapes.
He's got his own line.
Wow.
Yeah. One's called Caribbean Sunshine. One's called Surfing in a Hurricane.
Well, I know. What's his? Willie Nelson has some too, doesn't he?
I know he does. I'd like to meet him one day.
If he doesn't have vape machines, he definitely has vape flavors, but they're all weed flavors.
Yeah, I haven't come across it, but I'd like to try some Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. But
I was looking at one of the marijuana dispensaries in Maryland years ago when they first opened up, and they were selling Willie Nelson brand marijuana flower.
In the shop.
Yeah, in the shop. I think you can go in, if you had the card, you can go down and pick it up.
He ain't in Florida yet that I know of, and not at the 2 main places I know of. So hopefully one day. I don't know how they figured that out. I know there's this stuff you do. I can't do it anymore, but it's like that condensed oil. Like it's not the tincture, but it's like it's kind of like a gummy.
Yeah, liquid. The waxes. Yeah.
That stuff is crazy. I can't hang with that stuff.
It's tantamount to like the difference between weed and hash. It's just like it's so highly concentrated. Like one hit I hear makes you stupid.
It's more like it feels like you're doing psychedelics. And it's not comfortable for me. Other people's
marijuana
fine.
is a psychedelic, though, a mild one, but it's still a psychedelic.
That stuff in particular is too much for me. Freak out and think I'm dying. There's some stuff called strawberry Tillamook. I won't ever do that again. Man, he's like all night thinking I was gonna die. I didn't. Still alive.
I'll tell you though, some of that new marijuana stuff that I've gotten some of that stuff from the dispensaries. It's strong. It's real strong.
Completely legal where you are?
Medically only in Pennsylvania and Maryland.
You're in Maine still, or you're in Pennsylvania?
I'm in Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's medical in both Maryland and Pennsylvania.
Here it's medicinal only.
Yeah.
I just wonder if they made it completely legal here, it'd probably suck. Like, I mean, as far as it wouldn't be good for everybody, I don't think, would it?
I would imagine the prices would go up a lot
it's already
just to get
expensive.
the fan base, and then they come down. But
it's already expensive.
Yeah, I know. It's just
they would run out.
More expensive than street prices, actually.
I would think the problem would be inventory. Like, everybody's would be buying it.
Well, if you remember back to 2016 when Colorado went legal for recreational, they were expecting to make, I think, $25 million over the whole year 2016, and they ran out of the supply for the recreational marijuana within the first 2 months. So they were out at the end of February.
Yes.
End of March, they recovered, and they made 16-something million in just those 3 months alone.
Yeah. It's a money maker, money shaker. That's for sure. Oh, sure. But it's expensive here now.
I think it's expensive everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. I mean, a quarter ounce up here, I think, is somewhere on like the $80 level. Ounces are $200 or more, and it's just, when I was buying it illegally when I was in college, you could get a whole ounce for like $120.
It's like 50 for 7 grams. That's high, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly $50. It's a lot of money.
And the
I don't think it's 70 grams. I think it's more like 3 grams for an eight.
For like $60 to $90.
Yeah,
crazy. Making a racket. And then here the Republicans are always trying to like make it less powerful and weird stuff, and it doesn't work out. Like, they're always messing with it, like in crappy ways, like trying to ruin it, like everything with it. I'm surprised it passed here. Like, they're trying to make it less powerful, the weaker stuff for everyone, like crazy. It's like, you shut up. What's wrong with you?
I don't know if they're going to be able to make it any less powerful, because they've been making it more and more powerful as the years go on. I mean, I remember in the 80s when I first started with it, it wasn't that strong. And you can get the really powerful stuff for really cheap. A whole ounce of like, skunk weed or Hawaiian purple weed was like, $140 for a whole ounce. Now you pay $140, you might get a quarter or a half.
That's what we need, some Hawaiian purple weed. That sounds fun.
It was. It was actually purple. It was purple plant. It was neat.
They got some called cakes now. Big Smooth. What else? Bubba Kush. Galactic Glue.
Galactic Glue.
That's got Gorilla Glue and Gobstoppers in it.
Yeah. The names they come up with are weird as hell. I mean, they've got Bubblegum and Bubblegum Kush and all that. It's like, I don't need a name. Is it green? Can I smoke it? Sell me that. I don't need a stupid name.
There's so many hybrids,
Yeah, a lot of hybrids too. And I found I don't like the hybrids so much. And I think so. They sell the hybrid stuff. They sell the indicas and what's the other one? Can't remember. I think it's the indicas. Sativa. The sativa and the indicas are the ones that, and the hybrids are a hybrid of both. And I think it's the indicas that I like better than the sativas. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've messed with it, but one of them makes you stupid. One of them is like, all right, I got a good buzz. Let me go do something.
You gotta be careful with them sativas. Them people with blood pressure. For sure, I know.
That's probably the one that makes you not want to do anything.
Well, it gives you energy, but it can raise your blood pressure too at the same time.
Well,
So,
I don't need my blood pressure raised any. I've already got that up.
Yeah. Sometimes I do. And like when I'm gonna pass out when I'm not sleeping. But as far as so what have you still watching? There's some other show you watched all the time on a boat or something, right?
On a boat?
The Love Boat will take
No.
you anywhere.
It was a
No, there
long
was
time
some show
ago.
you watched about something. I can't remember. But you said something about a reality show or they did something. Another show that you love. You've talked about it before. I can't remember what it was about.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not recalling it.
Tourist, or no, you talked about it. I just can't remember. Some kind of show that you love. It's I thought maybe about a boat or something. I don't remember, but you talked about it. It doesn't matter.
And
It'll
my
come
brain
to
isn't
you.
functioning right now either. Yeah, I
It'll
mean,
come to you.
there's a lot of stuff I've been watching just to catch up. It's mainly the Survivor thing. So there's I think there's a show coming on Disney. I think it's a Marvel show, but that I want to watch. It didn't come out yet. We did talk about the last show. The Netflix lost Daredevil and what else? The other Marvel shows they lost. They're coming on Disney next month. I think they said. Did you see that article that Gabe put up on Facebook?
Yeah, that they're bringing Daredevil and Punisher,
And is it Cage?
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
To Disney. I'm hoping they're gonna jumpstart them and continue them. That's what everybody hopes, I guess, right?
I thought the article, or at least the title of the article, said they were coming next month. So maybe there won't be a break in them. I don't know if they are on hiatus or they're in between seasons or what. But maybe at least you can catch up and start from the beginning and start restreaming on Disney next month.
I'm hoping so, but I know they're just going to put them on there and see how they do, I guess, and then go from there.
I'm sure they'll do something with it because the Marvel shows have been doing pretty good. Hawkeye was okay. It wasn't great. I only really watched it because of that girl Haley Steinfeld. She's really pretty, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. But I think there's a show that's. Oh no, yeah. So they're thinking about they were saying about the Boba Fett, which would be a Disney Plus show, is that a good spinoff would be something to do with Darth Maul and his planet, and something about dragons.
Oh, like a show about Darth Maul?
Well, not necessarily about him, but about his home planet, Dathomir or whatever it's called, and something about the dragons they have there. They were saying that might be a good spinoff. I'd probably watch that too. I'm not a real big fan of the prequels or the last three Skywalker series.
Yeah, I didn't like those either. The prequels were okay. I didn't hate them, but these last ones
they're all just okay. But this Boba Fett TV show was awesome. Mandalorian was awesome. So
yeah, John Favreau's the man.
Those things.
Robert Rodriguez is the man. He's
Yeah,
directing a lot of those episodes. I like Robert Rodriguez. He did From Dusk Till Dawn with Quentin Tarantino and Desperado.
Right. Yep.
Nothing like Danny Trejo as the Rancor dude.
The Rancor trainer, yeah.
Did you get caught up on it finally?
Yeah, I only had to watch that last one. I thought that I was back 2 episodes, but I only hadn't seen the last episode, which is episode 7, and I thought there was going to be 10, and so they have it end at 7. But wow, what a lot of action in that last episode!
Yeah, it was good. And the Dark Wookiee lived. That was good.
Yeah,
the Pigmen did not.
He would.
Did I destroy? Were you? I gave the spoiler leak of Pigmen dying.
We spoiled the Gamorrean guards get killed, but yeah, so what? There's a lot of Gamorreans on Tatooine, so
yeah, the Pigmen died. But as far as there's a Kenobi show coming, right?
Yeah, I think that starts next month. Also, actually, the new Picard starts on March 6th or 3rd next month. So that was a good show. I mean, it's believe it or not. I mean, I thought it was going to suck, but if you're a fan of this Next Generation, the Picard TV show was pretty excellent too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I'm hoping it gets better. I hear Q's coming, so I'm excited for that.
Q is supposed to be in it, and Seven of Nine remains in it, and not Data, but Data's like idiot cousin. That Data died at the last movie, and one of his clones was kind of a dimwit. He's supposed to make an appearance as well.
Brent Spiner.
Brent Spiner, yeah.
He was in a weird show based on a Robert Kirkman comic called Outcast. The guy that did Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman. It was on Cinemax called Outcast, and it was weird. It was like about this like black demonic ooze that takes over a town and possesses people.
Oh,
He's
wow.
like the main fallen angel that Brent Spiner is.
Yeah.
It was really creepy. I wonder if they ever. I think they canceled it. And it was good. It's crazy.
Well, that's one sure way. If you want your show to get canceled, make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Especially if it's on NBC, they'll cancel it for you.
They cancel it. It's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I hear there's a Fallout show coming with Walter Goggins in it. Remember the game Fallout about, they leave the bunker and they go up Mad Max pretty much.
Yeah.
After a nuclear holocaust and mutants. But there's a Fallout show coming to Amazon with Walter Goggins.
Yeah, I like him. He's a good actor. He was in that. He was in that show where he was the bad guy versus it was a federal agent. And the guy who plays the federal agent is the guy he's the sheriff in Boba Fett on that one town out in the outskirts. God, my memory sucks anymore. But yeah, Walter Goggins is a good actor. I like him.
Yep, and he'll be in that. That'll be a while, but there's a Fallout coming. What about the new Lord of the Rings?
The trailer looked kind of crappy. I saw it on the Super Bowl, but I can't say anything whether it's going to be good or bad. I got to watch it first. So if it's written well, especially Philippa Boyens did the movies with Peter Jackson. If she has a hand in it, it ought to be pretty good because she was pretty true to the original books. But we're talking about 1,000 years before the events of Lord of the Rings is where this show is going to be. So they have plenty of avenues and directions to go in.
I can't watch it. It's got black hobbits in it, so I just can't do it.
that I couldn't care less.
I'm kidding.
As long as the story's good, I don't care what kind of characters
if it's
they have.
good, who cares? If it's terrible,
exactly.
Whatever. I spent a crap ton of money on it, so who knows?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Was it like $1 trillion or something like that to make
apparently there's people that are upset that there's black hobbits in it. Oh my god! But
what I say to those people: don't watch it. You don't like black hobbits? Don't watch it.
The Moors. Who knows? It could be dark elves.
Yeah. Could be dark dwarves. There's in Dungeons and Dragons, the game, there is a set of there's bad elves are black. There's bad dwarves. They're black. Why are they black? I don't know. Talk to Gary Gygax, but
the stuff in Dungeons and Dragons with the dark elves is amazing. I mean, R.L. Salvatore did all those Driss books.
Drizzt Jordan, yeah.
What's that Spider Queen lady's name? I forget, like Lilith or something. I don't remember.
Loth, yeah, Lolth.
Loth, yeah. I had to fight her once. Roll the dice.
We fought her once too, and she lost. We killed her.
I don't remember what the hell happened, but I remember that. I remember
she's pretty badass. She's like a 10th or 12th level monster.
I used to DM Ravenloft.
Oh, really? Cool.
A long time ago. And the regular stuff, but it's been a long time, that's for sure. Now they have weird ways online you can do. Like people do games somehow. Like a whole site's just made for doing that.
Yeah,
So
there's a
role-playing.
couple of video chat sites to play the game. There's a couple of like live action video games you can talk to your friends, like like Halo through headphones and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, we're at the tail end. We made it. Our
Yep.
sleep's been devastated because them China energy weapons they're shooting at us. Messing with my sleep.
They're messing with our sleep and our pee patterns because ever since I was a boy, I haven't had to pee at midnight in years. When you're a little kid, you drink too much water, you wake up in the middle of the night, you go pee. Now I'm in my 50s and I drink too much water and I get up in the middle of the night and I gotta go pee.
Messing with our gooch patterns.
Right.
All right, everybody. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week with Joe R. Lansdale, New York Times author Joe R. Lansdale. Look him up. He's got some cool Weird West books.
Yeah.
Dead in the West. He wrote a lot of cool comics with cool art. But anywho, everybody have a good weekend, and we'll catch you later. If you get incinerated, we love you. Good night. Don't get incinerated.
Yes.
Pray for Ukraine. Putin's not a hero. He's an antichrist. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, JoJo, wherever you are. There we go.